All right, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm just going to be giving my thoughts real quick, hopefully, on what I think's going on with the whole immigration process, since it's really kind of interesting that if you really do take into account the fact that Democrats do, on average, deport as many or even more undocumented immigrants than Republicans do. It kind of begs the question of what's like really going on with all the protests that seemingly the Democrats are promoting, since they aren't really against deporting people, right? So this is, I don't have any insider information, right? This is just my theory, my hypothesis. I don't have any evidence to back this up or anything like that. This is just my basic analysis of what I think I see going on right now. And it might piss off some Republicans too, but I'm just trying to give an honest assessment from my particular viewpoint. All right, so now, what I think is going on with the Democrat versus Republican deportations, and why I kind of look, I don't want to agree with Nick Fuentes, not because he's a bad person, but because, like, hypothetically, in an ideal world, I think that it would be best to start with deporting all of the criminals, that people that committed other crimes other than illegally immigrating to the United States first, and then, slowly deport people that have been here for the shortest amount of time possible, going down to the people that have been here the longest time possible. But I can understand what Nick is saying, that tactic's not going to work. And here's why I agree with him. Basically, I was going to piss Republicans off a little bit, but let's keep it real. Both Republicans and Democrat business owners use undocumented labor. And in states that are Republican, they also have a high amount of undocumented immigrants. States like Texas, right, and New Mexico. I don't know if New Mexico is still red. Arizona, I'm pretty sure, is red still, right? But they got a lot of undocumented immigrants. And of course, there's a lot of undocumented immigrants in Minnesota too now, right? But the problem is that it's kind of a newer system, right? So the Democrats have a serious advantage when it comes to deportations and the statistical numbers, because one, the southern border, a lot of the people that are illegally immigrating through the southern border are Mexican or Latin American. So it's much easier for the Democrats to literally just round these people up, put like zip ties on them, and put them on a bus and just drive them to Mexico, right? Whereas Trump is going to have a lot more logistical problems deporting people to Somalia. You can see how far Somalia is away from the United States compared to Mexico. Just the logistics alone, and then you have to cross. Look how many country borders you have to cross in order to, like, airspace of countries that you have to cross. I mean, I guess they could fly through Europe, like they could fly over Europe, but that would take longer instead of just flying directly straight across to Somalia. But then they'd have to fly over almost all the North African countries, right? So that's like customs logistics and flight logistics. Just getting these people on planes is going to cost a ton if they're actually need to be deported to Somalia versus deported to Mexico, right? So the Democrats have a huge advantage there. So it's going to make their numbers look way bigger than Trump's. And also they get the advantage of deporting undocumented immigrants from red states. So I'm not saying that the Republicans are having illegal immigrants vote, but it's possible that some illegal immigrants vote in red states. You don't know. I mean, obviously, if illegal immigrants can vote in these other states, and it might be boosting the Republicans' numbers. And so that's why the Democrats go after Republican states, right? And plus they're working in the businesses, so that's going to give less money to Republican business owners, right? So they can, and plus, like I said, it's an older system. It's been happening since, like, the Spanish American War. And so the Democrats probably already have their agents set up. They know which factories the Mexicans work at. They know, and then plus you got all the Breaking Bad Mexicans too, right? You got all the Breaking Bad Mexicans in Texas and Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, right? I don't know about Louisiana and stuff like that, but I know on the west side plus California, right? So they can deport all the Breaking Bad Mexicans and get huge criminal numbers out of that, right? Where what the Democrats are doing, I don't know where Minnesota is up here, right? What the Democrats are doing is that they're bringing them in and then they're putting them on welfare so that therefore they don't have to commit crimes, quote unquote, other crimes other than being an undocumented immigrant, right? And then so then when we're saying, oh, well, we got to deport the ones that commit crimes first, that's going to be the ones that are in the Republican states. So it kind of sucks, but you do, like, and plus you can see that they don't have their bases set up there. They're coming in like almost like an outside invading force. Not saying that they are invading, but it's more like they have to like get like a beachhead into Minnesota, and then they're operating from like a limited beachhead where it's like the Democrats probably have tons of offices and immigration offices and bases set up all over Texas and New Mexico and California and stuff, where they have tons of equipment and tons of logistics to do raids on the Republican factories and get as many Mexican immigrants as possible. And it's easy to track drug sales and stuff like that, right? So then as soon as they want to bust them all, they bust them all. Plus they get to keep all the drug money and get huge criminal arrest numbers, while Trump is up here in Minnesota and they don't have the logistics. And so, yeah, they're kind of scrambling around trying to just grab people off of the street. They're like, oh, you look brown, you got an accent, come over here, get in the truck, right? So they're, number one, they're picking up more American citizens by accident, which makes them look horrible. They're doing it in a more indiscriminate fashion, which is essentially un-American, to just indiscriminately pick up people off the street because they're brown or Mexican looking. It is kind of un-American. And I'm not saying that we can't do it, but you can see why it's easily used in the media to make a negative play on what Trump's doing, because essentially most Americans find that distasteful to indiscriminately pick up people off the street and ask for their papers because of how they look. But I mean, right? And then on top of it, they've got all these paid protesters, paid rioters. I don't know how they're getting paid, either the way that Karlin Poroshenko says, or they're getting the NGOs through Soros and all that stuff, like Alex Jones says. Could be a combination of both. They seem very organized, almost more organized than ICE is, right? And so, yeah, it's a new system. They're bringing in the immigrants and putting them on welfare so they don't have to commit crimes. Whereas, like, down here, there's a lot of drug dealing and all, and of course, obviously the human trafficking stuff. They're not really dealing with that up here. They're just giving them welfare and then telling them to vote for them, bringing in their families and stuff. And so, yeah, it's making Trump look really bad because he's got to kind of scramble around to try to grab as many people out of here as possible so they can't vote for Tim Walz, right? Or whatever. I mean, I'm joking around, but that's what I think is happening, right? And they're having because it's like, think about it, it's ridiculous, right? So the Democrats come down here to Texas, right by the border, right? Like, there's something going on in Laredo right now, right? And they just come down right by the border. and all they have to do is just put on some zip ties on some Breaking Bad Mexicans and just put them on a bus and drive them right over the border to like Tijuana and just dump them out. Meanwhile, Trump's got to come up here and he's got to deal with the fact that they're not actually committing any violent crimes besides the ones in the gangs that are fucking raping people and all that stuff. But the majority of them are probably just on welfare. They're just at their house. They're sending their kids to school. They're working their little tchotchke shops and whatever stands that I've seen, and so this whole like, oh well, we got to pick up the. I get it, right? I get it. We can't. We got to get all these people that are on welfare up here in Minnesota and wherever else they're doing it. And then it's like, okay, well, how's Trump going to get all these people back to Africa? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The logistics alone of just putting the people on the planes, getting planes, rounding all the people up, then herding all the people onto the planes. A lot of these people are resistant. Then they got to fly the planes over all these other territories, international territories, and then land in Somalia, which is supposedly, according to Twitter or Grok, is run by like Muslim warlords, and land there. They're not really friendly with us as a country. So yeah, the Democrats have a way easier job of deporting people and deporting criminals than Trump is going to have deporting Somalians from Minnesota, and it's messed up. So that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, hypothetically, getting rid of the criminals first would be better, but I also understand what people are saying when they're saying you can't just get the criminals at this point because they're not committing any other crimes other than being an undocumented immigrant. All right. Oh, whoops. All right. It's funny how when I wrote that, it says, when does protesting become illegal? That's what it just came up with on its own, even though I'm like, that's not what I asked you. Okay. Is it illegal to block someone from leaving a situation? Blocking someone from leaving can raise serious issues about personal freedom. This topic is significant because it touches on fundamental rights, social dynamics, and potential for legal consequences. Blocking someone from leaving a situation can lead to criminal charges, often categorized as false imprisonment or unlawful restraint. Civil liability. Blocking someone from leaving can also result in a tort claim for false imprisonment. Okay. Okay. So blocking someone from leaving can be a crime. Okay, here we go. Maybe because I'm using that word, and it's like not the right. Why does it keep saying, when does protesting become illegal? So yeah, blocking someone is a crime. Blocking someone from moving, standing in front of someone, getting in their face is a crime. You can't just you can't just get in front of someone and then when they try to move out of the way and go, they're like, oh, I'm going to go, if you're going to stand there, I'm going to go this way. And then you move in front of them. And then they go, okay, well, I'll go to the left. Then you move in front of them again. Like, how many times can you do that before someone can just punch you in the face? Like, realistically, I know you can't, but intent. The offender must have intended to restrict the victim's movement. A lack of consent. The victim did not agree to the restriction. Unlawfulness. The act must be without legal justification. Right? So it's like, this is what I'm saying. They just want to get in front of you and like stop you from being able to do what you're trying to do. It's illegal. It is illegal, you guys. So, okay, you want to break the law, that's what you're doing. And then you get shot by the cops, and then you want to act like the cops are doing something wrong. But it is a crime. Just standing in front of somebody, threats or coercion. Right? So if you just get in front of somebody and they're like, I'm trying to go in this door, and you're like, nope, oh, oh, can't go, no. Oh. And then they go, okay, well, I'm going to go back. And then you jump behind them and you go, oh. That's a crime. That is a crime. You are violating that person's rights. So, yeah. All righty. That is the video. Thanks for watching if you did. Have a good day and peace.